Hello, my name is Shybri Wilson, and this is my presentation 7 for Library 266. The collection development in which I study is that of Forest Park Elementary School Library. I really enjoyed this course and learning more about collection development and hope that what I learned I can share some light on to you all too. So, next, we're going to get started, and I'm going to present to you a picture of Forest Park Elementary School Library. Forest Park Elementary School Library is located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This school is located in the southeast part of Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem, North Carolina is the home of Krispy Kreme donuts and also where Maya Angelou resided prior to dying. As you can see in the bottom right hand corner is a map of North Carolina, and Winston-Salem, North Carolina is located in the Piedmont Triad area. So, Forest Park Elementary School is part of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system. Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system is not only comprised of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, but is also comprised of smaller towns surrounding it, such as Kernersville, North Carolina, Clemensville, North Carolina, and other sectors, as you can see in the map. So, about this city of Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem has a population of 236,441 residents. The male population is 110,752 residents. The female population is 125,689, and the estimated median household income is that of 37,322 residents. The cost of living in Winston-Salem, North Carolina is fairly low in comparison to the state as a whole, but not only to the state of North Carolina, but also the national average in the United States. The state of North Carolina average income is about $45,906. So as you can see, Winston-Salem, North Carolina is very low in comparison to its own state income average. Part of this is due to many businesses closing down. So right now, Winston-Salem is building itself back up. It was home to RJ Reynolds, and when the economy collapsed, and also due to this uproar as to people being totally against tobacco, it has really hurt the city's economy as a whole. So just giving you a little bit of background so that you will understand more, and that is important when you're creating a collection development, to understand the community as a whole, not just that small portion in which you are working with. So next we're going to move along to demographics. So in the left hand corner I provided a map. So I'm a visual person. So the demographics, 46.1% consists of whites, 33.9% consists of black, 16.2% consists of Hispanic, two or more races, 1.6%, Native American, Pacific Islander, 0.4%, and other race alone, 0.1%. So other race alone, this is typically identified as your Asians. And so as you can see, Winston-Salem, North Carolina is has a predominantly white population, and it is not as diverse in comparison to other cities in the United States. And that is something that you definitely want to keep in mind when creating your collection development, is that of diversity. So the next thing we're going to move to is the library. So the library has 12,676 materials that are accessible to students and staff. So what I notice is that technology needs improvement, not only at Forest Park Elementary School, but also when collaborating with my classmates. I noticed that school libraries are lacking in the technology department. What is going on? So that is something that you want to realize is networking. Find out, is your school the only one who is suffering and such. So, what I noticed is that there needs to be an improvement as far as pushing ebooks, allowing students to choose whether they want a print material or ebooks. I noticed that public libraries have a variety of access to ebooks, and they push ebooks and they let you know about ebooks, but media services, as far as in school libraries, it's like they're intimidated by these ebooks. They're afraid that it's maybe going to corrupt the children. So we have to begin to evolve with technology so that we can remain relevant, and establishing ebooks in our school libraries is important. This is not only important for Forest Park, but other school libraries. So, in order to create your collection and bring about importance to it and add more materials, you have to create an infographic, a collection map. So, the collection map is beneficial for Forest Park Library to analyze what they have and where to go. So, to lay out a distinct plan as to, okay, we're at this mark right here in 2015, but by 2020 we should be at this mark, in order not only to benefit students but also teachers, staff, administrators, and parents, because parents are part of the community considering that they help students. So that's something to keep in mind, is creating a collection map so it maps out where you're going. One thing that I noticed that is really important is outreach. Outreach, you basically assessing the needs of the patrons and turning and providing materials in which benefit the collections and patrons. This is done through outreach and learning more about patrons. So going out into the community. One thing that I noticed in this course is that academic libraries and school libraries, it seems as though librarians are afraid, some librarians are afraid to go out into the community and learn more. You cannot just know one thing about your community sitting behind a desk. That's not logical. You have to go out into the community and find out, what are things that this community lacks, what can I learn from it, to know who you are serving, and to create a better collection for your patrons in which they will use. And that goes on to my next topic, as far as searching topics and finding out what is important. What is important to your community? Those school libraries, we are considered all one as a whole, in the eyes of, like ALA and different things like that. But my school library may be different than the school library that's 3 miles away. So you have to understand what topics are important, and that goes along with outreach and finding out who you are serving in your community and learning the demographics and different students. So that is important as far as searching different topics. So here I have provided a graph, and this graph consists of the nonfiction collection at Forest Park Elementary Library. So as you can see, the highest amount of collection materials is in the 900 through 999, which we are aware that this is where a lot of your historical materials are held. Um, Ironically, this is the largest collection that we have as far as nonfiction, but this collection is not circulated as much. There are a lot of books, but they're just sitting there. So that's one way in which ebooks can be comprised into, the nonfiction collection. Maybe students find it boring or would like something that's more interactive. So that's something to take into consideration, is learning your collection as far as nonfiction materials. So the popular collection needs more materials considering adoption of Common Core standards. So Common Core standards has been adopted nationwide, and at Forest Park Elementary School, math and science is only comprised of 4.81% of the core collection. And considering that Common Core standards is being pushed out into the schools, students are using Common Core standards as far as their curriculum. It's important to have these materials accessible to students so that they are able to research. So that's something also to keep in mind when creating your collection map is not only the topics, but we're going to delve into different things within the topics. And that's what we're going to move on to next. So, but before we move on next, you see there are 582 print titles and 25 digital titles. Next, within my collection, I chose 3 different things to learn more about, because math and science, though it is small, it's still a wide variety. So you want to become more detailed. So I chose to focus on invertebrate animals, specifically spiders, birds, and specifically bald eagles. And as far as with plants, I chose to specifically use flowers. And with this, as you see, no one got 3 stars. This collection needs dire help. So in order to create a collection in which you would give your better ratings to the collection, you have to create a strategic plan. This is very important. And so this picture on the slide sums it up. You have to have values, you have to have a vision, you have to have a mission, and most importantly, a strategy. You just can't go out there and do it. And that's why the collection map is important for organization, not only for yourself, but also when you present your budget and your infographic to others that you'll need help from. So here at Forest Park, for the next 5 years, there's only $30,000 that is allotted to the school library. What we need is $70,000 in order to implement new things such as digital materials, considering ebooks, databases, buying more, better books, print materials, buying, things such as iPads or, Kindles. This is important, and I noticed that school libraries lack funding, especially if it is not a wealthy area. So with this, you have to do different things, and that's why the strategic plan is important. So not only did I found common ground that there are many everyone has a PTA at their school, whether the PTA is involved or not, but still it's important to reach out to the PTA, let your parents know what's going on, discuss with the PTA president, present your collection map in front of the organization, administrators, teachers. Fundraisers. I cannot stress that enough. That is really important in all school libraries, and one of the most valuable fundraisers that students love and librarians love is that of Scholastic Book Fair. And the last but not least is that of social networking. I see an increase in social networking being used amongst public librarians, academic librarians, and school librarians. And so moving on, transitioning from the strategic plan, what you want to keep in mind is the school budget. So even if we're not allotted $70,000, you have to be mindful of different ways you can go around the school budget. What could be eliminated? What things could be prioritized? And that's where this collection map comes into play, where you're at now, where you can start. I not only with my research, but also the classmates, I noticed that a lot of people had more print materials than ebooks, but being that ebooks do not wear and tear, and over the years they're less as far as in pricing, create a collection in which it consists of more ebooks. That's valuable as far as cost. Utilizing Web 2.0, free databases, networking, collaborating in order to accommodate the school budget that is so little. So I hope that you enjoyed my presentation. Have a great day.